So the first one is this morning. Finally, we got the April numbers for Tesla's performance and sales in Europe, and it is a record. So
Hmm.
it's April's at 13,400 thousand Teslas sold in Europe, and it's by far the best month ever. January was 9,500. So this is what they're showing here. Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome, and you also see Germany has also like very many cars were sold there as well. Like it's still gaining market share little by little, but still this are impressive numbers in comparison to VW, for example. And yeah, it just shows that people who compare the cars, and also the EQS has a great range. For example, it has even a longer range than the Model S in some regards, but still it's heavier, it's less efficient, and it doesn't have like this great charging infrastructure. But still, Tesla opened it up now, so this is great news because electric, like we also have a similar thing like electrified America in Europe, which is run by VW as well. Uh, yeah, it's
Okay.
not that great.
I
Stalls are defective and everything. Yeah, so.
I don't know if you know the answer to this, but some people are pointing out that if you look at so this is a record
Hmm.
the record month for Tesla
Hmm.
in Europe. But if you look at Germany compared to January, it fell to 2,400
Hmm.
instead of 4241. So some people are pointing that out. It went down in Germany, but it went up everywhere else.
Yeah, I don't really know why this
Mhm.
is happening right now, but maybe they're influenced by the news. I don't know, really know. It
Mhm.
could be because it's interesting. In Germany, we still have a lot of people who are proud on the internal combustion engine. So it tends to stagnate some way. For example, Norway is totally different game, but Germany is a lot bigger, of course, than Norway. So, but still, I think in the EV space, they still like top everything. Like if you compare
Yeah.
it to the different other cars, because yeah, if you, for example, the VW, you have to, or you had to go to the dealership to get an update and stuff like that. Those conveniences that Tesla has is, yeah, that's very special. So if you compare it, it's a no brainer to take a Tesla more or less. If
Mhm.
you look at everything, consider everything, yeah.
I
But
think
I
we
don't know
need
why
to.
it's stagnated. Yeah.
I don't either. Yeah, I haven't had time this morning because I'm sure it was part of the thread. I need to look into that. Okay,
Hmm.
so the other big news, and it's not quite news, it's a rumor, but apparently folks are saying that in uh, Giga
Berlin.
Giga Berlin, yeah, that there's kind of people are spotting that there was these kinds of front and rear castings, and they're now postulating that BYD battery is going to be used, and so there's going to be a new variant of the Tesla
Hmm.
Model Y that's already in production in Giga Berlin. So this is from Berlin Energy. Do you know this guy, this person?
No,
Berlin
sadly
Energy.
not personally, but I
Yeah.
also follow him, of course, and he has very great insight and he's very fast. Actually, is much faster than I am, sadly.
Gotcha.
But yeah, I use his tweets as well. I repost them all the time. Yeah.
He said that Tesla Club members on visits to the Gigafactory in April, they found that one of the Gigapresses intended for front elements of the Model Y was already in operation. Another three were to produce rear parts. Another two were being prepared. And according to plans, a total of 8 die casting machines are being planned. And I think that even Corey Steuben and Sandy Monroe from Monroe and Associates visited Giga Berlin, and they weren't allowed to share what they saw,
Hmm.
but that was probably something they saw. And so, why is this important? That if Giga Berlin starts producing a new variant of the Model Y that's going to be cheaper with the BYD batteries and the castings, what Jeff Lutz is pointing out is that this now in the last several months, we're now going to have three new lower cost of good models, new variants of Tesla cars that's production, and it's going to create a new segmentation, and it's going to be able to offer lower MSRP, lower price slots in their lineup. This could indicate that we're closer to the end of reducing prices on existing models, because if you can fill in lower variants, and I bet you, and I still am a believer that there's going to be a new Model 3, we're calling it the Highland, that's going to come out, and it's going to be priced lower even. While we're waiting for the compact car, this one is going to be able to be priced lower. And so we're just going to slowly just keep coming down. And so this is what Jeff said, right? There's the Austin Model Y all-wheel drive that was announced just a few days ago, 4680. The US Model 3 long range, I'm sorry, that's the one that was announced just a few days ago.
Mhm.
And the Berlin rear wheel drive Model Y is estimated to have the smaller battery pack, and that's not yet formally announced. Yeah, so what was your thought when you saw that?
Yeah, that's pretty awesome because reducing prices or reducing the cost of production, of course, is very important, especially in the times like these. And what people don't really realize, and I had discussions on Twitter as well with many Germans, especially also, that I believe that for the German market, even because Germany is kind of a wage country, people
Yeah.
it's controversial to say that, but because we are leading in the like in the statistics all the time, or not leading, but in the top five, we are almost every time in the top five. But still, if you consider everything, like the taxes, the cost of living here in Germany, and everything, that we don't really have as much money left in the median, at least, because their engineers, of course, don't really have a problem in that regard because they get paid very well, but
Yeah.
the median in Germany is still very low, and that means we need lower priced cars. And so I've applauded Tesla for lowering prices, of course, because for the short term strategy, because why should they? I mean, they sell every EV they produce. Some people, like we've seen, the inventory went up a bit, but it's still lowered again. So I wouldn't say they have a demand problem. And
Mhm.
that's my conclusion of everything I've saw. So I think it's important to do that. That's why, yeah, I think it's great that they lowered the
Didn't do that.
prices, and with the new models, I think that's the right strategy. They have to really get into the mass market segment now, and now it's time, and this will really give them a great like punch in the stomach, the internal combustion engine industry, actually. So it's a good thing to really accelerate that because yeah, it's time now.
Yeah, yeah, good. So I want to review in more detail what you just said. You had this
Mhm,
tweet, which I thought was awesome. So you said, "Why is it necessary that Tesla is lowering prices from your perspective, from a German?" And I think that this kind of it repeats what you just said, but it gives you the
mhm,
actual numbers. So you said it's a low wage country. Yes, average
mhm,
salary in 2021 was 52,000 US dollars, and then that's before taxes.
mhm.
So, so after taxes, it's 33,000 US dollars, and then
Yeah,
on top of that, you have the health insurance that you have to pay for, $600 a
mandatory.
month,
Yeah,
mandatory. Two people,
yeah.
you pay $500 for food, not eating out.
Not eating out.
Anyway, so
Yeah.
you point out the kind of the normal wages and all the costs it is to live there, and the majority of people are going to buy used, or they need to only afford the sub $20,000 cars.
Yeah.
So, to really win in Germany, you need to, like you said, offer something
Mhm.
that's
Yeah,
a little bit
yeah, and
cheaper.
yeah, and in Germany, of course, people like really save for their BMWs, for example, and then they finance it, of course, and
Yeah.
they they don't really can't save anything, but they have a great car, maybe. That's sometimes the case. And people who are above the median of the income median, they of course can afford something like that. But um, still, it's interesting to see that. I mean, people aren't aware because like Germany is a very like Germany's economy is very strong, and in Europe especially, if you compare it to the other countries, and that's what I wanted to point out, that people have to be cautious about this because the numbers kind of a little bit skewed, also in favor of the German government. They really want to show that, look, everything is fine here, nothing to see
Mhm.
here.
Mhm.
But still, yeah, I think it's a great strategy because, yeah, most of the people, like, I can't say a number, 80% or something, really buy used cars, and or yeah.
Mhm.
So
I see.
I think it's important to know that.
Okay, so another bit of news that came out again today, which is great,
Mhm.
was that it was announced this morning that finally the numbers are in that Tesla in Q1, the Model Y is still the best-selling car in Europe in Q1 of 2023. So that was it was top of the list in March also, but this is all 27 countries counted in Europe. The Model Y topped all model lists with 71,000 registrations in all over Europe entire quarter. This is the first time in all of countries. So just that's the first bit about it. Um,
Yeah, and
we've seen.
you
Mhm.
mhm. You have to note that, the numbers are very slow sometimes. The different countries
Mm.
have different regulations on those registrations, especially. And Germany is very fast with that in that regard. Some countries are very slow, so that's why it sometimes takes a lot of time. Like we have to be into the next quarter a little bit until everything catches up again. The numbers come, and now we see that that's why this is the list with the more countries, which is very important to get a whole picture of Europe. That's why this great chart actually. Yeah,
It's a
you
great
see
chart.
it, and
This
now we have
chart,
the note.
we've seen it last week, but this is finally, I think, all quarter. But this is great. So this is comparing all cars. Which is the best
Mhm.
model, regardless if you are a battery or a plug-in or just a regular gas car. And Tesla Model Y has the most sales compared to everyone else. Looks like it's I don't know. Do you know what a Dacia Sandero is?
Yeah, that's the smaller brand of Renault. I think
I know. Okay.
it's a French
Yeah.
company, or
So this.
Peugeot. I'm not really sure right now. I think it
Mhm.
was Renault. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so it's interesting. And then, yeah, so then if we look at this number, and I know people can't see this, but basically, if you look at the top 50 models in all of Europe, 27 countries in Europe, Tesla Model Y is number one, as we've just said. This is all cars, not just the battery. This is the battery, the top 20 of the battery guys. It's Model Y,
Yeah.
Model 3, Volkswagen ID3, MG, MG4, Volkswagen ID4, Peugeot, like that. And then
Mhm.
this is the hybrids and Ford, Kia, Volvo. This is what they do. So okay, interesting.
Yeah. Yeah, it really shows the trend. And now imagine a sub $20,000 car in the next few years. Yeah, I don't think people like the companies really can. The legacy car companies can really catch up in that fast that they say, okay, I'm gonna put out. And even the price pressure which Tesla put out there is also very harsh for even the Peugeot, which is like a very small car, like a
Mhm,
smaller car brand from. I think they're under the land. I'm not sure. I don't want to say something wrong, but
mhm,
it's interesting. Because they are very price cautious, and they say, "Why are you doing that?" And he was really furious because of the price reduction, of course, because it pressures them
mhm.
extremely. But I think it's important to do that because what should we do? We can't wait on everybody to like the time is ticking, and I think yeah,
Yeah.
it's a necessary step.